All right, I'm here with Ethan Wright, who is an admissions counselor and the LGBTQ plus recruiter for IUPUI. Ethan, thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, so just kind of tell us about IUPUI, where it's located. Obviously, we're in Franklin, so we're a little bit south of there. So most of our kids probably know where it is. Just kind of tell us some things about IUPUI and why a student would want to consider coming to IUPUI.
Yeah, sure. So IUPUI, obviously Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. We like to say you get the best of both worlds here because you can get not only an IU degree but a Purdue degree at the same time. When we're looking at our size, I like to say we are just right. We're the Goldilocks version of just right. We're not as big as IU Bloomington, but we're not as small as IU Kokomo or IU South Bend. We have roughly over 30,000 students that attend IUPUI, and that includes our undergraduate and graduate students here on our campus. When you're looking at IUPUI, one of the big things is we are the most comprehensive healthcare system in the state of Indiana because all the hospitals are located right on our campus downtown. So it's really, really cool to have that. We have Fortune 500 companies surrounding our campus that allows our students to go out there, get really good internships, those research opportunities, and be very hands-on in what they're going to be learning as they grow older and they graduate and get jobs.
Yeah, it's centrally located too, so you're right around all the businesses and everything. Good opportunity for internships there. Yeah, so I guess what do you look for in a potential student for IUPUI? What would be considered the students you guys would want to come to your campus?
Yeah, sure. So potential students, I mean, ideally we would love every student to be on our campus and every student to come here. I might be biased. I came here myself. But, we're looking for students that are hard workers. We're looking for career driven, ready to hit the ground running the moment they graduate from us and be ready to do anything and everything to change society, change their community, change the state, anything along those lines. We're really looking for students that have a passion for making a difference here at IUPUI.
All right. And then with the admission requirements to get into IUPUI, what are some of those requirements?
Yeah, sure. So, luckily enough, we are a test optional facility. So, if we don't know what that means, we basically do not require you to submit SAT scores and or ACT scores for admissions decisions anymore. I wish I would have had that when I applied as a student. Just going to throw that out there now. So, when we decide to go test optional, so we look at a 3.0 GPA with a recommended academic honors diploma. Does not have to be that, but we just recommend it. It's no big deal. And then if you decide you want to include your test scores, it's a 2.8 GPA with a minimum of an SAT of 1,000 and or an ACT of 19. Does not have to be both, can just be one or the either. But of course, if you don't fit all that criteria, you can still apply to us and we'll still review you as a normal student.
Okay. And then obviously with a school the size of IUPUI, even though you're Goldilocks, it's still a little bit bigger and you have so many of the other schools. Are there other schools that require different things, maybe different admission standards to get in? And what are some of the schools that you do offer that you think need to be highlighted?
Yeah, sure. So on our campus, we do have different requirements for each school. We do have direct admit programs, and then we have pre-admit programs. Really, when we're looking at the difference of that, it might be just a couple different scholarships for a direct admit versus a pre-admit student. Obviously, you have to be applied to IUPUI to get into us and then be into your degree granting school, which is fine. We do have a couple schools on our campus that do require a year of prereqs before you can apply to be part of them. So that is our School of Nursing, which has just been nationally ranked 22nd in the nation.
Nice.
Our School of Medicine, which is also nationally ranked. I don't know numbers just yet, but it is up there. We have our School of Dentistry, which is the only dental school in the state of Indiana that we like to throw out there, as well as our School of Social Work. So that's really something to think about when you look at it. But really, our other schools, it's as easy as making sure that you're doing good in your classes and you'll be able to get admitted pretty much easily. When we're looking at IUPUI and like our main go-tos on our campus, obviously well known for medicine, as I just stated, we're nationally ranked and all that. We have the IU Kelly School of Business, just like the one down in IU Bloomington, so no really big difference there. We have the only school of philanthropy in the nation currently. We have the only Bachelor's of Science in Motorsports Engineering in the U.S. here at IUPUI as well. And then we have very specialized informatics and computing, liberal arts, where liberal arts, it works for everybody. You always need to know how to talk to people, so that's really important. and then our Heron School of Art, which is the only accredited art school in the state of Indiana. So we got a hodgepodge for everybody. We got 17 degree granting schools, so there's a little bit of something for everybody.
There's a little bit of everything there. So I didn't put this on the paper, but I did want to ask. Recently, it was announced that they were going to kind of split off a little bit. So it's going to. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So the split will be occurring for 2024. We're calling ourselves currently just IUI. We're going to still call ourselves IUPUI, but then after the transition occurs, we will be classified, I guess, as IUI. That's what we're saying. We don't know names yet, but that makes the most sense at this point. But really, the only thing that is occurring is that we will no longer have any engineering degrees. So we won't have the motorsports, we won't have the mechanical, we won't have the energy, we won't have biomedical for the time being. That being said, the Purdue side of our school will be taking all those and running that from the Purdue West Lafayette campus. But those students will still be able to be on our campus and use our facility to make sure that they are getting the best knowledge possible. Obviously, you have the race cars downtown, Indy 500. We want to make sure that students are still being able to get those resources and those opportunities. So that's really it. I mean, they are taking all of the engineering programs. We will be taking over all of the science-based programs, so biochem, pre-med tracks. That's all going to be on us, and then everything else is ours anyway. So we're pretty much chilling. The only thing that we will not sadly have as of 2024 will be engineering programs, but we still have a lot of amazing options for students to look into.
So if someone wants to go to engineering start next year, they can still do that because that would go through Purdue, but run at IUPUI. They could do that on campus. Now, is that going to be offered after like a graduate of 2024 or 2025, or how is that going to work? Do you know that yet?
So yeah, I do. So if you're applying for fall of 2023 and you want to come here for fall of 2023 in that semester, you will be grandfathered in. So you will still be classified as one of our IUPUI students. You will actually be the last cohort of IUPUI specific students. After 2024, Purdue will still be on our campus, but it'll be kind of a shared thing. So if we know how IPFW worked with IU Fort Wayne and Purdue Fort Wayne, that's kind of the same concept. As just IU is going to be holding more of the stature here versus Purdue. Okay. And that's kind of how that's going to work. So students are still going to run through Purdue to get, into Purdue, but they're still going to hold a facility on our campus so that way they can get those internship opportunities and get that hands-on work that students of, IUPUI already get. So
it's really not going to change a whole lot for you.
No, not really. Not really. The only thing that changes is the admissions process for our engineering students will be all through Purdue. Everything else, you're on us as of 2024. So
okay, yeah. Okay, and then the last thing with the cost, that's obviously a big topic, is the cost to attend college. What is the cost to attend IUPUI, and what kind of scholarships? I know you mentioned some, but whether like financial aid and everything are available to students?
Yeah, sure. So when we're looking at IUPUI and a whole thing, when we do cost estimates, we look for a full academic year. So that's fall semester and spring semester. When we're looking at us that way, you're looking at about roughly $25,000 for a full academic year here at IUPUI. Tuition ranges at about $10,000 for the full academic year. So 5,000 fall, 5,000 spring. Room and board about fits that same way. And then we have other things that are calculated into that, such as books, fees, transportation, personal items. Those are all estimates that we like to give students just to give them a better idea of what you might be possibly spending when you are coming to IUPUI. Scholarship opportunities, there are a plethora. I was a student, I attended IUPUI, and I graduated with no undergraduate debt whatsoever from here because of all these scholarship opportunities that are present. We have very competitive scholarships, such as through our Honors College program, which range anywhere from the lowest amount up to basically a full ride, which is really good for most students. So if you're a high achieving student, definitely would recommend it. We have merit-based scholarships, diversity-based scholarships, school-specific scholarships, one weird external runoff scholarships, as well as the potential of using the scholarships that Indiana provides. I think one thing that most students don't know that helped me a lot is that every county in the state of Indiana holds a scholarship database of some form. So making sure that you're looking at those and picking those out for yourself as well.
Yeah, we have one here, and they have a big booklet that goes out. So all the kids, those are always very helpful. And it's those little ones that start to add up for you too.
Yep. That's how you do it. Anything and everything.
All right. So you are an admissions counselor right now. Yes. You attended IUPUI. So let's go back 2 or 3 years to when you were you were figuring that out. Well, no, I said it'd have to be 4, right? To 4 years ago when you were figuring that out. What do you wish you kind of knew about the college application process then that you know now?
I think I would have wished that I knew that IU has the Apply IU app, where you can apply to multiple IU campuses with a single $65 fee. You can apply to Bloomington, IUPUI, IU Kokomo, South Bend, IUPUC, all of them for a single $65 fee. I applied to multiple IU campuses and I didn't know about this, so it was a single fee for each one I applied to. So that's definitely one of the things that I wish I would have known when I was applying to all this.
That's very helpful. That's very helpful to know. That will save a couple $100 probably.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Get you some good chicken nuggies or something. You know, you gotta live your best life.
Yes. All right. Well, Ethan, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate the time. Once again, Ethan Wright, admissions counselor and LGBTQ plus recruiter for IUPUI.